portends? What does it mean? What are we to do with it?
I think it's showing us that the polarity of a schism, which many people say exists but is undeclared, is not between tradition and, for example, the Novus Ordo, or tradition and modernism. It's between tradition and sodomy. These are the two poles around which people are being divided and gathered, and things will keep getting worse and worse until everyone has taken a firm stand one way or the other. The genuine care for people trapped in sins they can't escape, it's not difficult to speak to them about confession and the need to repent. Anybody can understand this unless you've been going after them for months and years saying that God accepts you as you are and the rest of the world has to catch up with that. That's not true. We're sinful, and God accepts the humble and contrite heart that comes to confess their sins. And so what Francis is doing, and the bishops and priests who bless this, they are literally leading countless souls to hell. We have a man dressed in white in Rome, along with many in the hierarchy, who are actively leading souls to hell unashamedly. And until I think the majority of Catholics wake up and decide one way or the other, things will keep getting worse until we decide.
I think it's interesting you made several allusions there to Fatima. For example, the souls like snowflakes falling into hell, as well as the bishop dressed in white, from the vision we know about in the Third Secret, as well as, you didn't mention this, but we know that Sister Lucia wrote a letter to Cardinal Caffarra saying that the final sort of attack between good and evil that the devil's going to launch is going to be about marriage and family. I think we're living in those times, Father. I mean,
another Fatima allusion, because I think with the promulgation of this document, Fiducia Supplicans, you have the clearest sign of how the apostasy in the church is at the highest levels, and in many ways is coming from the top, because you have, I think, so many priests and bishops and laity that a bit maybe, let's say, weaker in their faith, that if only they were given, better guidance and greater encouragement, that they would kind of be lifted up and be able to find the strength and cooperate with God's grace to be able to live a faithful life and to be able to recognize more clearly what is sinful and what is not. But in so many ways, I also see how with this document and the, again, so-called blessing of, gravely sinful unions, that it's how it's leading, like Father Maudsley also just mentioned, how it's leading so many souls astray. Not even necessarily those that maybe are involved in those kinds of sin or vice, but in so many other ways. I mean, where really just the credibility of the hierarchy, I would say, is totally shot, because they're no longer teaching the faith. I mean, they're no longer transmitting the Catholic religion.